defer to Yak because I'm not going to go over my time.
Well, here's what we're going to do first. I'm going to allow each candidate to ask a question of the other candidates. Like, you guys are running for anything. So I'm going to allow Yak to ask Russell first. Russell will have a minute to respond.
All right, I have a question, and it's going to be followed by a follow-up question. My question... Yes.
Whoa.
Very Jewish.
This ain't CNBC. You don't make the rules.
I have a question with a follow-up. Go ahead.
Go ahead, pal. We'll allow it.
Okay, fine. My question is, do you like Marco Rubio's flip-flopping on immigration? Do you like that at all? Do you think that is a quality that you would seek in a candidate at all?
No.
So how come Donald Trump, the king of flip-floppers, there's not a single topic that he hasn't had? I'm not talking 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I'm talking 5 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever. There's not a single topic that guy has been consistent. Almost no topic. So why Marco Rubio is wrong on immigration, you don't like him, and why Donald Trump, you give him a pass?
Okay, so since you got to ask 2 questions, I want to ask a question with a follow-up question.
Good.
Number
that
1.
will be allowed, but you have 1 minute to answer.
Quickly. So, was Donald Trump ever in the United States Senate?
No.
Okay, so we're talking about flip-flops, right? So, would you agree, Mr. Yak Attack, that businessmen have a different set of priorities than United States senators that are claiming to be Republicans?
Glad you brought that up. Because one more time.
It was a yes or no question, but go ahead.
I'm sorry. What was the question? Okay. Let me answer your question. I'm sorry. You're not going to get to stretch this out. The moment time I hear this Bisman shtick from you, I'm sorry. No, he doesn't
That's
get.
not shtick. But it's your question.
No. Reset the clock, G.
Again.
1 minute.
Again. I am attacking him for inconsistency. My question is, where do we start with him being able to have a complete opposite opinion? Like, he's been a businessman his whole life. So, what are you saying?
Hold on.
Yak. I'd like to redirect that question back to you.
I'm still.
What are you saying?
I'm waiting for the transcript. I have someone typing what Yak just said. I'm reading it.
Hold
still
on.
lost. Go ahead, Yak.
Let the man respond. Come on.
Oof. Okay. So here's Donald Trump on terrorism. When you get these terrorists, you have to take out their families. They care about their lives. Don't kid yourselves. But they say they don't care about their lives. You have to take out their families. When you're running in a Republican primary, folks, this is Russ Gallo talking now. I was just quoting Donald Trump. How do you lose with that? Yeah, here's my question to you. And I had to preface it with a Donald Trump quote. How do you take out a guy like Donald Trump in a Republican primary when it's impossible to get to the right of him on terrorism or immigration?
I got my answer. Because you're right. Maybe on these 2 topics, although I'll disagree, maybe let's just say these 2 topics it's almost impossible to get to the right. But on every other topic, 9/11, Iraqi war, on abortion, pro-life, anything, it's so easy to get to the right of him. It's like a joke.
As is this debate, but I digress.
I'm going to take
There's a question in the chat room. Go ahead.
I'm going to take it from our old friend, Jacob Cornblue. This is to both of us, Yak, so get ready for it. Which presidential candidate do you believe would Yak Attack America's enemies?
Inside joke there, folks. Yak Attack is what Yak is doing to this show right now.
Come on, Yak. Who do you think? Which Republican candidate?
I have to roll with Ted Cruz. I mean, he just released his military plan, which is solid. Everything that I've agreed with. A strong military, not being involved in frickin' Libya and every little cesspool hellhole in the freaking world, and damage our national standing and our international standing. Might I add.
This is why we stopped doing these types of shows, isn't it, Russ? This is why we stopped doing this.
By the way, folks, we are not cutting Yak off. Those abrupt endings are pure Yak.
I'm not doing a thing to him. I swear, I'm not that advanced technology-wise.
So here's my response to the question. I'm going to just respond with Donald Trump's words. So who do I think is going to protect the country, or Yak Attack our enemies, if you will? 2 quick quotes. 1.
I can't believe it's becoming a verb.
I love it. So here's what Donald Trump said about, and this is on terrorism and ISIS and our enemies. So here's what Donald Trump said: I would bring back waterboarding and I'd bring back a hell of a lot worse than waterboarding. That was one thing he said. Then the next thing that he said, ISIS is making a tremendous amount of money because they have certain oil caps, right? They have certain areas of oil that they took away. They have some in Syria, some in Iraq. I would bomb the out of them.
Thank you for doing it that way.
I know Gene has to splice it up later for the radio. That's why I did that. So, who would yak attack our enemies? I don't know. I love a guy like Ted Cruz, but who do I know from gut instinct is going to slap around ISIS and all these thugs in the Middle East and look Putin in the eye and say, "What's up, punk?" Donald J. Trump. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to give Yak the last word because you won the coin. Actually, you get the last word.
No, I deferred, yeah.
So Russ gets the last word. You're right.
Last word.
Yak, I'm going to give you, let's see here. We're running low on showtime. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to close up.
All right, I got this.
Don't scream into the microphone. People are scared.
All right.
Don't be scary.
I will do my...
Okay, here. Talking to the microphone.
You need a mic, Yak. You need a mic. Hold on.
All right. Listen up,
down.
America. This is the Yak here. All right. I hope you have my undivided attention. We just heard that Donald Trump is he'll feel the best, it'll be the safest, because he talks a lot. Let me tell you something. Who do you want? Who do you be rooting for? A WWE wrestler or an Olympic medalist wrestler that will be able to tackle our enemies? That's why I'm for Ted Cruz. Ain't for big talk. I'm not for no thugs. I ain't for no inconsistencies. I'm not for dishonoring our country. I'm out. I'm for Cruz. Do whatever you want.
Oh my. Russ, I dare say you get the last word. 30 seconds, please, starting now.
Do whatever you want. Brilliant. By the way, I love Yak. Tremendous debate. I loved it.
By the way, this was a hashtag 2-drink minimum debate.
2-drink minimum, no joke. And by the way, great example. Great example with the wrestlers. Yak, great example. I loved it. I'm going to leave you with this. A quote by Ronald Reagan. First of all, I already started this off. I'm a Cruz guy. I almost had a Freudian slip there. I am a Cruz guy, but I can live with Donald Trump, and I just explained why I think Donald Trump is gaining steam. But let me just tell you why, and this is how I'm going to close it up. Here's what Ronald Reagan said. Our people look for a cause to believe in. Is it a third party we need, or is it a new and revitalized second party? Raising a banner of no pale pastels, but bold colors, which make it unmistakably clear where we stand on all issues troubling the people. And I argue that Donald Trump is no pale pastel, my friend.
All right, well, I want to thank you, gentlemen, for this debate.
This ain't over.
But there is somebody who wants equal time, and that's the Reverend Al Sharpton. Gene and Russ behind me lines will be back with some final thoughts right after the Reverend Al. The show will be right back. But first, a word from Al Sharpton.
Good evening, Rev. Thanks
Good evening,
to
Rev.
you, Ed. Is this Groundhog Day 2? We are watching that was Attorney General Eric Holder, ABDs, about some Republicans at home are already beating the drums of war. Today, the Pentagon refuted that claim. And he said the American people do not want him to, quote, dwindling, they do not want him dwindling his thumbs. You can get a gig as a contortionist. Intravenous fluids and pills coated with gelatin. We don't leave our women or men in uniform behind. It's a monument to the hubris of Dick Cheney, Representative Raul Labrador. The years of abuse. I personally apologize to Mr. Peebles. Just ask to soon-to-be former Congressman. Democrats are outright jitty. CIA's counterterrorism center. Veteran Affairs Secretary Shinseki. Why do I always mess up his name? Shinseki. I love my critics. I have fun with that.
Politics Nation with the Reverend Al Sharpton starts right now. Good evening, Rev.
Good evening, Dr. Dyson.
But wait, there's more.
And we will much about that be committed. So there's no real conflict. Michael Druniak, including Lincoln himself, Daniel Day-Lewis. Behind Monica Lewinsky, the one and only Trey Songz is here. But Allison Lundergan Grimes, Gina De Jesus, when Gina De Jesus, Tea Party challenger Matt Bivens. People don't want to have their Social Security overall. The Republican savior, Mark Rubio's big night in evolution and Galileo. I mean, this whole thing of Galileo. America's changed. Unless IT and Skillets, President Putin doing something similar back in, it won't change this fundamental fact about the GOP. Just how absurd these attacks is. Nearly 6 months after the dangerous traffic jam, the Thai military says, my friend for many years, Ilyana Van Zandt. There's nothing there.
And they gave this guy a TV show? Let's get back to our show. Gene and Russ, I think, back behind enemy lines. And by the way, Yak, your therapist called and said that was really, really cleansing what you did there. So I'm glad that you got it out of your system. No Medication Tuesdays. Russ, final thought time? You want me to go first, or you want to take it?
Go ahead, Gene.
All right, so my final thought's this. For those of you who've been following the whole Peyton Manning drama going on right now, it boils down to this. Peyton Manning mooned someone in 1997, and Sean King is still white pretending to be black. That's what it boils down to right now. You have a known liar, a known huckster, a guy who steals money from his own causes, basically, if you believe what is said in Breitbart, claiming that Peyton Manning's legacy should be basically thrown in the toilet. Because back in 1997, there was a lawsuit against the University of Tennessee, and Peyton Manning was accused of, yes, get this straight, mooning someone in the locker room that was of the opposite sex. Really? Is this what it comes down to now? There's a reason why this lawsuit didn't really surface in his entire career. Because it's a non-issue. It is another one of these schemes by this known liar to try to denigrate someone. It's absolutely ridiculous. I am so sick of activists trying to play journalist. And I'm about to go all yak attack on this guy, Russ. But not for nothing. Don't encourage me, Yak. It's not going to happen.
Scoosh on
It's just, I'm done. I am done with people like Sean King trying to make a name for themselves off of the misery of others. And that's my final thought. Go ahead, Russ.
Very nice, Gene.
Did you take a picture of me?
Did you take a pic?
Can I get my final thought?
Go ahead.
My final thought is simple. Kanye West is a piece of...
Whoa.
Yeah, I won't say it. He's a racist mofo. Kanye West is a piece of human garbage. Do not ever pay for a single thing Kanye West puts out.
Never.
Ever. And Kim Kardashian, or whoever the hell he's married to, I don't even know who this person is, don't support any of them. If his songs come on the radio, I couldn't even tell you what a Kanye West song was. Don't listen to it. He's a racist piece of trash.
And hip-hop.
Garbage.
All right, and that'll do it for the show. But before we end it, we're going to end it Brooklyn GOP radio style, Russ. Honorable William P. O'Neill III, do you approve of this here show tonight, this evening?
So glad to be back. Love these guys. Love this show. Oh, hell yeah, I approve of every second. Love it.
By the way, William P. O'Neill is also drunk.
Next. And so are we, folks. We're all in the bag, and so is this show.
Since 6 p.m.
Eastern.
From the People's Republic. Oh, Lord. I'm trying to get the ending done here. From the People's Republic of New York City. Russ, it's time to shut this sucker down.
Gene, shut this mofo down. Kanye West is a piece of garbage.
All right. Good night, folks. Next week, we're back with some more fun. Our last show before CPAC. But until then, we are out of here. Good night, folks.
Yeah!
Our position has been compromised. It's time to roll out. Report for debriefing at www.behindenemylinesradio.us and look for regular communications via Facebook and Twitter at BEL_radio. You are the resistance. Behind Enemy Lines. Part of the Conservative Commandos Radio Network,
A Rock Radio production. Copyright 2015. Back in 7 days. Out.